Quiet, please. Quiet. I must have quiet. Will you sit down, please? I can't make myself heard if you're talking. Please be quiet. I beg you. I do beg you. Quiet, please. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, shareholders of the United Spelter, Pig Iron, Tin Whistle and Brass Bottling Company Limited. I hope I can call you friends. I need hardly say how happy I am to be here tonight presiding at your annual general meeting, and I hope that proceedings will proceed as proceedings have proceeded in preceding years. I think without precedent as president I can say, I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about. It doesn't very much matter if you don't, because I think we're quite in order if we take it as read. Mr. Harris, are we in order if we take that as read?
Oh, quite,
yes,
quite,
yes,
quite.
Yes, your secretary, Mr. Harris, says you're in order if you take it as red or blue or green or any colour you like. Just take whatever you like. Your directors have been doing that for several years now, so you may as well follow in their footsteps. Now, as this is our annual general meeting, we've had the usual budget of insulting anonymous letters sent to the directors. I'm only so sorry they're not here in person to answer them, but as you know, the police have been very active lately, and several of them find it rather hard to leave. However, I've communicated with them in the various places where they are, and if there are any anonymous letter writers here tonight, if you take this as the only intimation of reply, you'd be helping your directors very considerably. Now, Lord Gripewater, writing from Gripewater Towers, I think it is, yes, Gripewater Towers, in reply to ex-serviceman, wishes to say that he denies the allegations in the letter and that he, Lord Gripewater, is not in the least bit windy. And Colonel Boomer, writing from Boomer Court in reply to Doubtful, wishes emphatically to state that in his autobiography the term second division is a purely military one, that in any case it's scrubs and not shrubs. Now, I'm sure you'll all be sorry to hear that your President, Lord Bottle, is still on the sick list. He's still battling very bravely in an inebriate's home. According to the latest reports, he's complaining of distinctly fewer green ducks in his bathroom, so I think we can confidently expect his early return. You'll also be sorry to hear that Lady Bargain is unable to be with us tonight. As you know, she's a foundation shareholder in an earlier company of ours. She lost most of her fortune with us, poor lady. I understand she's under lock and key for some little forgetfulness in one of the London stores. And I thought it might be a kindly action on our part if we sent her a joint letter of congratulation on the way she's lived up to the old bargain motto of help yourself.
Oh, hear her.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Well, we'll have a show of hands on that afterwards. Now, Count Twistsky, who's been looking after the company's interests and his own in the Argentine for the last few years, is returning to that country under a deportation order tomorrow. As you know, he's been living in strict retirement in Devonshire for the past few months. I'm sure we all hope that he'll return with a new name, the new passports, in time for our next annual general meeting, if any. Now, those shareholders who received a copy of the annual general report, there were 4 copies sent out altogether. As you know, we're rather short of stationery. I think I'm right in saying 4 copies, Mr.
It was
Harris?
just 4,
yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Yes,
4 copies, 2 without stamps and 2 without envelopes. And those shareholders who are lucky enough to receive a copy, if you'll be good enough to read it over to the other shareholders who are not so lucky, you'll be again helping your directors very considerably. Although I think it'd be better, Mr. Harris, if I read the report out myself. Yes, then they'd be cognizant with the things I wish them to be cognizant with. Well, I suggested that to you yesterday, you've done it. Yes, I'll read the report out myself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with regard to the report, we can congratulate ourselves upon the fact that the report was very much louder this year than last. The main feature, of course, is the debenture issue of last week, capital value of 5 and 4pence, secured on the office furniture. This is to rank pari passu with the regurgitating debenture issue of last year, secured on the office gas meter. You remember that particular issue was not the great success we'd hoped for, because the mortgagees, the Gas, Light and Coke Company, foreclosed on the meter when they came to cut off the supply of, well, we needn't go into those details now. But in spite of these setbacks, I do think that we can offset the setbacks by the very real economies that we've accomplished in the office, because we're now running the office without gas and without furniture. And after consultation with the New River Water Company and with the Electric Light Company, I know they'd be only too willing to help us to still further economies. In fact, they very definitely suggested it on more than one occasion. Now, your directors greatly regret that through a foolish oversight in the share department, so many forged certificates were issued during our backfiring preference issue of July last. And any shareholders who are in receipt of forged certificates, if you take them to the share department between 5 and 6 on Monday, we'd be very pleased to exchange them for the genuine scrip. Not that it makes the slightest difference in the value. Now, your directors have decided not to issue a balance sheet this year. We find it only encourages creditors. The profit and loss account Mr. Harris?
No.
Have you got a copy?
Can't do it.
What, we can't?
We haven't got one.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no copy of the profit and loss account. It's a very one-sided document in any case. I think we'd be quite in order if we took it as read. We did with all the subsidiary companies, Mr. Harris.
Oh, quite.
Yes.
Quite.
We take the profit and loss account as read. It's not worth bothering about, really. Now, ladies and gentlemen, although we have so little to show, we also have very little to hide. In fact, there's very little of anything, really. That is the difficulty. But, however, there is one very splendid spot in our year's trading, and that is the fine sales drive that Mr. Brindle, our head salesman, has pushed forward in conjunction with our zinc factory in South Wales. With his staff of expert salesmen, he's sold, let me see now, yes, 2 1-ounce pots of zinc ointment to 2 separate and well-known firms of retail chemists. So when I say sold, perhaps I should say sale or return. But although we've had the zinc ointment back, I do feel that Mr. Brindle has struck a very real blow for the firm's zinc interest in South Wales.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm glad you agree with me. I think we can quite rightly call it a crusade in zinc ointment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot conclude the meeting without passing a vote of thanks to the office staff. He's getting on in years now. And, when I say, I'm sure he would be glad of anything that was passed his way. Some shareholder wrote in with regard to arrears of salary. I should like to say that only last week his directors presented him with a silver teapot. Well, when I say silver, a good, strong teapot, in any case. Well, now, all that remains for me to do is to read you your auditor's report. As you know, your auditors are Liphook, Dogsbody, and Liphook. They're automatically up for re-election this year. And in their report, they say this balance sheet is correct in every detail with the exception of the figures. They also add that, in their opinion, business, if any, is on the incline. Well, now, that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my report. I only hope... Now, please come off the platform. I can't allow you don't right up here. Leave my coat alone, will you, please? Oh, no, please, now, don't do that. Oh, I can't stand. Now, if you...